Hi, let's have a quick talk about consistency. As you guys can tell, I have very little of it, and, I'll be honest, you guys have caught me lacking in that regard. I can't exactly promise it'll get any better, but, obviously I've changed some things up today to try and alleviate it, and we've got a new computer in front of us today here. As you can see, it's quite dirty, and it's got all kinds of stickers on it. A little bit of it has been blurred out to, not provide names to the general public. But anyway, it's a Gateway 2000 computer, as you can see there. It is a Pentium class machine, and it is a P55C-166. The full model number is some ridiculously long thing, but yeah. And we've just got a couple generic peripherals and this monitor, which probably matches it, to go right alongside. I haven't actually powered the thing on, so I guess we'll see if it actually even works. Anyways, let's get to turning the machine on. Obviously, in order to turn the system on, we have to take the front panel off here and, press the power button there. Now, as you can see by the half taken apart state, I already know this thing works. I already know it boots. I already know all of that. So, we're just going to watch here as it goes through the post. 16 megs of RAM in this thing. And a dead CMOS battery, which probably anybody could have predicted. Now, big dumb idiot brain here forgot to actually plug in the hard drive before he turned it on. So as you can see there, the IDE cable and power cable to that Quantum Fireball 2 gig is just sitting there. And with a bit of effort, everything's finally plugged back in and we can power it on again. Now that I've actually bothered to hook the hard drive up, when we get in here and auto-detect the hard drive, it properly detects the 2 gigabyte hard drive. And once we're all done with the post again, you can see it actually boots into Windows 95. Now, this Windows 95 install isn't exactly speedy, and it's also chock full of personal data. Alright, so I've got all the icons covered up. I just wanted to show with this here that this does not seem to be a Gateway OEM image, although it has that product key. Alright, so we're going to jump straight into taking this thing apart. It's really not too hard to take apart. Most everything is just screwed in from the front or held in by plastic clips. So we're going to start with this blank slot here, which presumably would be for either a 5¼ inch floppy or a secondary CD-ROM drive. Not populated in this system and probably would not have been in any sort of default configuration. As you can see, once all the screws are out, the thing just slides out instantly. Moving on to the hard drive, that's just 2 more screws that need to be removed from the front. And once those are removed, the thing just slides out and comes up just like the other caddy, pretty much. Alright, so the CD-ROM and floppy drive are sort of comboed here. So when I take these 2 screws out, there's one on the right and one on the left. The entire assembly there will just come out. Now that it's out on the table here, we can see it's a nice little Mitsumi unit. I've had relatively good luck with these. And since we're doing a basic disassembly for cleaning, we'll go ahead and get the ribbon cables out of the way as well. So I've gotten one of the little plastic side things off there as well. You can see that 2 out of 3 plastic clips are broken. So we'll need to sort of fix that. Spinning around at the back here, we're just going to remove the screws for the power supply and get that thing out. Although it looks relatively standard, I think pretty much all of the power supplies in these Gateway systems are not standard. They're always sort of like a little bit smaller, a little bit bigger than the ATX standard. Given that and the status of it as the primary cooling fan for the system as well, would really preclude you from using many other power supplies in this unit. But yeah, once those screws are out, the thing just comes right up. Alright, so a little bit of repairing on the case here. We've hot glued the power button in place, and we've sort of hot glued the side panel with 2 clips on there as well. We've also gone ahead and cleaned out the case, given that a little blow, and same with the power supply. And just giving a little wiggle there to show that it's fairly rigid. Alright, we also needed to replace the coin cell battery there. The one that was in the system is a CR2335 as opposed to a CR2032. but they're both the same voltage, so I just put the 2032 in there anyway. Alright, fast forwarding through reassembly here, we've got the CD-ROM and floppy put in and all of the IDE and floppy cables plumbed up. Got the hard drive put back in place, power button still where it is. Alright, and here we've got the cleaned up front panel put back on. There's still some defects. There's a pretty big gouge up at the top and in the middle there. Some of that black residue from wherever still remains. And I'm turning the light on down here to show that there's a bit of a crack in the bottom of that plastic, but I mean, it's looking pretty good for the amount of damage it suffered, so yeah. Alright, and here we go. First power on test and now the thing's back assembled. Power button no worky? My stupidity strikes again. Look at that unplugged ATX power cable. Alright, take two now that we've rectified all that. And boom, comes right on. So that's good. Unfortunately, if you may have seen the floppy drive light there, cable was the wrong way around, but just ignore that for now. Go into the setup and just set these options and save them, and hopefully they stay that way with that new battery in place. And it still boots just fine after all the work we did on it too. Alright, it's the next day. We've done a little bit in the intervening time, including fixed a few issues with the front panel. If you may have seen in that last clip, the button for the floppy drive was not in the right place, and the CD-ROM drive button wouldn't actually press either, so that's been fixed. There was also that little light pipe which fell out of somewhere and I couldn't figure out where it went. But anyway, now it's time to reinstall Windows 95. So we've got that boot disk put in the drive as you just saw there, and we've also got these two CD-ROM drives which should hopefully restore a gateway image. I chose Windows 95 OSR 2.1 with the USB support because the system does have two USB ports around the back, so you know, just having default support for those would be good. And as you can see, the thing is now booting up off that Windows 95 boot disk. So conveniently, the CD-ROM drive does actually just straight up work. No extra effort required. So we're just going to go ahead and format the C drive and yeah, get all that crap wiped off. Alright, so I went ahead and just skipped the Windows 95 installation. There was really nothing noteworthy to show there. Likewise, the gateway and restore CD was kind of a bust as well, so we'll just show you this funny part with the disk tray. Alright, so this Corel program that we have on screen here was really the only thing on the gateway disk that was actually worth installing. So we went ahead and did that. Alright, we're getting towards the end here. We've got the zip disk out, and I've got two floppies burned here. One of them has a DOS image on them, that cow disk there. And the other one has a driver for the Windows 95 zip disk. So we'll go ahead and get that installed. Alright, so with the zip disk drivers installed, we now have the ability to grab the Rage 2 driver off of the zip disk. That takes just a moment to copy over to the desktop, and then we can install that. There are still a couple more drivers that I need to install on this thing, such as the sound driver and stuff like that, but that's not something that I wound up doing in this video. And with the display driver installed and a quick reboot later, we now have the ability to change our display resolution. The way that it appears on here was a little strange. I've never actually seen it sort of laid out like that, so it kind of confused me at first. But really, I just set it to whatever allowed me to do true color, and we left it at that. And then as soon as we were done setting the display resolution, I went ahead and rebooted for DOS. Alright, and here we are in benchmarking territory. Before I start, here's a quick overview of the system's caches and the CPU model itself. On the cache side, it's probably just one L1 cache of 24 kilobytes, judging by how close the actual read speed is. So yeah, that's just a little quirk with the program, I assume. I'm not actually sure where it got that they were different when they were that close. And yeah, as far as the CPU identification utility goes, it correctly identified it as a Pentium MMX of 166 MHz, so that's all good. Alright, so as far as the benchmarking itself goes, we've got a SpeedSys 4.78 score of 126.28, and that was exactly the same across all three runs. A landmark score of 1742.66, a 3D bench score of 118.5, and a PC player score of 41.4. And that brings us to a total score of 2028.84, which makes this computer the fastest Socket 7 Pentium computer in my collection. But wait a minute. Last time I made a video, there were only 2 systems on this leaderboard, and now there's this Gateway 2386? Yeah, so the deal with that is a while ago I got a Gateway 2386. Pretty much as soon as I got the computer, I decided I'd make a video about it. But because the video was so incredibly disjointed, I decided to go ahead and just scrap that idea. Yeah, maybe we'll do a little bit of a redo on that at some point, but yeah, that computer's just on there now. Yeah. But hey, on the bright side, at least with this video, I get to announce 2 new records. The fastest Socket 7 Pentium in my collection, and the fastest 386 computer in my collection. But yeah, that just about does it for this video. There's maybe, possibly, I can't promise anything with how I am. There might be a few more videos coming out within relatively short order, considering I need to actually finish the projects that are in my project room right now. So, what better time to make a video about them than while I'm trying to put them away? So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave your feedback below. Please lambaste me below. And, yeah, catch y'all later. Oh, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, because I'd really like to get to 224 subscribers. I think that'd be cool. Thanks, bye!